Let us now introduce contestant number 3, Ms. Chow Serena. Please come onto the stage. The title of her speech is Confidentiality or Public Interest. You decide. You now have 3 minutes. You may begin after the bell rings.
Hello, everyone. A very good morning to you all. Have you, ladies and gentlemen, have you ever had to keep a secret? To conceal information, even though you know that information can protect other people? Very recently, here in Hong Kong, that's exactly the question Henry Tang had to consider when he decided to reveal information about his opponent, C.Y. Leung, information that others wanted him to conceal. Confidentiality and public interest. Think about it. The need to conceal versus the need to reveal. When exactly should public interest override confidentiality? Well, what I can say it's complicated. Imagine now, you are a doctor, and you've just determined your patient is HIV positive. Can you tell anyone else this information? But mind you, he is no ordinary patient. He's a dentist who has contact with patients on a daily basis. So what can you do? You have to keep the doctor-patient confidentiality. But on the other hand, there's a health risk to the public. Another case. Imagine you're an assistant commander of the Hong Kong police for a central district. You know there's a serial sex offender prowling Lan Kwai Fong. Should you alert the public? However, there's a twist. Your only hope of catching him is if you keep silent in fear that it will alert the offender to your investigations. You wait for him to strike one more time, and then you move in with more DNA evidence. All of these examples reveal how complicated and varied every single issue of confidentiality is. Just look at the WikiLeaks controversy, which will probably remain just that, controversial and complicated. Conceal versus reveal. For centuries, this has been a problem for legal systems all around the world, and every case has proved to be very different. But when someone else's interests are at stake, it very quickly becomes a secret you may not want to keep. Thank you.
Thank you for your speech. Mr. Lynch will now ask you a question relating to your speech. The bell will ring and the timekeeper will raise the start card right after the question has been asked, and you'll have 1 minute to respond to the question. Mr. Lynch, please.
Thank you. Hong Kong magazines publish a lot of information about celebrities and their private lives. Do you think this kind of coverage has a negative impact on young people in Hong Kong?
As a matter of fact, I think that it does have a negative impact on youngsters nowadays, because it gives them a false image that being famous means that you have no privacy at all, which is not really right. I think that the line draws between, like, you can take a photo from far away, but you can't actually do something to intrude someone else's privacy. And all of this, nowadays the media is really strong, and they often step over the line, and this gives a false image that to us youngsters that we can also step over the line, which is wrong. So I think it has a negative image. Thank you.
Thank you. A second question will now be asked by Mr. McLavin. Again, the bell will ring and the timekeeper will raise the start card right after the question, and you may then respond to the question. Mr. McLavin.
Famine is a serious problem that can affect poor countries. Scientists have invented test tube meat in the hope of easing the problem. What do you think about using such scientific methods to solve the problem of famine?
Personally, I don't really agree with these scientific methods, because there's no telling what would happen in the future. I mean, your fourth generation can turn into a spider because of that food. You never know. I mean, yes, that's the problem with science. But on the other hand, it can save life. However, your life quality, in order to maintain your life, the quality of life, science is not really the way, because you cannot really know what science brings to you in short term or long term. You can never know. Personally, I think it's not the way. Thank you.
Thank you. Please take a seat. Please remain silent while judges write down their comments. Thank you.